And welcome back. It is time to see who is moving forward into the grand final and who falls down to the lower bracket and has to square off against the Dynasty. Will it be the Dragons yet again, or will it be the Fusion who managed to pick up this victory? We are going to find out in just a few minutes. But Fusion have had some ups and downs. Both teams, I think it's safe to say, have had their ups and downs for sure. Dragons playing more 5-map series than pretty much everybody else in the league right now. But managing to persevere, managing to push forward, end up getting that second seed. Fusion starting off hot, then kind of fading out a little bit. Now it seems like they're in a bit of a return to form after yesterday, though, Avril. We'll see what we can expect from these rookies going up against the veteran squad of the Dragons.
It's funny that you bring up highs and lows here, because I would argue that the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows for both these teams happened in their match against each other in our opening game of the entire APAC region here for 2022. Fusion's best game of the season, no doubt, I think was actually against the Dragons 3-0. No one expected that. Everyone thought the Dragons would be coming out all guns blazing. Fusion, bunch of rookies. What could they really do, right? But they came out, destroyed the Dragons 3-0. Didn't look close. Maybe Kings Row looked a little bit more competitive. Dragons, on the other hand, what happened? They were completely lost. It looked like they only just started scrimming the day before. I know they were late to scrims, but they weren't that late to scrims. They did not look good in that series versus the Fusion. However, fast forward to today, we saw that match that that Shanghai played last night. Brilliant stuff. The most clutch performance we've ever seen from Dragons, and they seem to be clutching almost every single game. That level is so difficult to beat. And Fusion now are going to have to play up to, I think, their potential. They need to be at the highest level that they can be themselves to face up against the Dragons that's playing like this.
Oh, they absolutely do. I mean, Dragons, they still managed to close that series, in spite of not contesting the cart on Route 66. They just completely don't get the touch.
They
don't
gave
even
you a
force that
Shanghai
overtime
and still won.
Yep, they get the Shanghai, and they end up still managing to win that series at the very end. So, yeah, it was incredible stuff from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. It's, again, just that hive mind that we haven't been seeing as much of because there have been those inconsistencies at the beginning of the season. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, a switch gets flicked, and all of a sudden everybody is operating on the same page on the side of the Dragons, and they're able to clutch out in these just miraculous scenarios where it seems like they are absolutely done and dusted. So Fusion, they certainly have their work cut out for them. But, I mean, good Lord, what do you think it would mean to these rookies if they are able to come in here, best the Dragons yet again, and find themselves in a grand final in the first tournament of the year? That would be such an incredible high for these guys.
They're the only ones that have done it. They're the only ones that have actually defeated the Dragons. If it wasn't for that, Dragons might be 6-0. But Dragons have had kind of a shaky regular season right in the qualification stage. Yeah. It starts with the 0-3. The rookies beat the veterans, the defending champions even. But now we look at where we were just last night. Route 66, disgustingly bad map from the Dragons. I actually went back and watched. The reason why they C9 that one was because Fate touched at 3.2 seconds instead of 3 seconds. You have to touch within the final 3 seconds to enable the OT. He touched 0.2 seconds too early. So, happens. Let's go ahead and meet the teams. You should already know them. The Shanghai, as they're colloquially known. It's time to turn online. Actually, we'll meet them later. It's the Fusion first. And it's the rookie squad, right, led by Carpe. And God's technically a veteran here as well. He's been playing since Season 1 with a bit of a gap in the middle, going back to contenders. But the storyline for this match really is, it's the rookie superstar squad, Zest, trying to make his bid for Rookie of the Year. And he's competing against guys like Alpha Yi, but with Hangzhou Spark bowing out early, I mean, Zest, it's his opportunity now to kind of prove himself and get ahead of Alpha Yi once again in that race. And you have one of the most rookie squads and one of the best rookie squads versus the literal defending champions and probably the most veteran squad in the entire region as well, and maybe even in the entire Overwatch League, with no rookies on their team, full veterans that have been playing forever, and everybody's a champion. Except for Ben.
Yeah, it's a bit of a toss up there, I would say, between them and the Dynasty. As I think we have a little bit of extra time to kind of go on some tangents. You and I were actually kind of talking about this during the break. Which team is actually a bit more veteran? Because there are some newer faces on the side of the Seoul Dynasty. Obviously, Vinheim coming in, also somebody who's trying to be in contention for that Rookie of the Year spot. But of course, you have Prophet, who is an Overwatch League champion as well as an Apex champion. The guy's been competing for so many years now. And
so is Who Are You, though?
To be at the top. You've got Fitz there. Those guys have been in a grand finals, but Who Are You, as you mentioned, has been playing for so very long, since that Apex era and whatnot. So it's very much a battle I think between those two teams, as much as the rivalry often happens in the lobby, I think it's also a little bit extraneous to the game itself when you try to think about who is the more veteran team between those two. But enough about the Dynasty. They got their win. We can focus on the rookies and the veterans that they have here on the side of the Fusion.
I think it would be accurate to say that everybody on this entire Dragon squad has had a minimum of 3 seasons in the league, correct? Flitter, Lip, Who Are You, Fate, Void, Lee Jagon, Iziaki, Bebe.
Yeah.
With Lee Jagon joining I mean, he'd be the most, him and Lip would be the most recent additions, and even then, they now both have 3 seasons under their belt. Bebe joined, I think, even in Season 2. Iziaki's been there since, I think, Season 2 or Season 1. Void's been an Apex player. Who Are You's been an Apex player. Fate's been an Apex player. Flitter's been an Apex player. So, in that regard, yeah, I still think it probably is Dragons as the most veteran team because nobody on this team has less than 3 seasons under their belt, and now they're all champions except for Baby. Sorry, I had to call that. I have to be accurate, guys. Come on, I do have to be accurate about this. Can't lie. Maybe this year. Hey, Who Are You got a free chip last year? So did Molly. Yeah. So did Develop. It's been Baby's turn. Baby's turn to get a chip. So there it is.
You're not supposed to leak the script this early, Avril. You're not supposed to tell everybody how the Grand Finals is going to go when we're so many months away from it.
Listen,
Still
we
got,
know.
What,
it's
4
fine.
months to be played out?
Just teleport me to the final. We know Dragons go back-to-back. You know, who cares? It's fine. We know. The script is leaked.
We'll have to just wait and see if it does end up coming to that. But, I mean, given the recent form, it's really difficult to kind of doubt this team. Because while there have been a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of unpredictable results across both regions, like you mentioned, outside of the loss to Fusion, the Dragons are always kind of just a really safe bet, it would seem.
Here's what's going to happen. We're going to get to the playoffs of 2022. Sombra is going to be bad the entire way through, but then finally enough complaining will be like, okay, Sombra is really bad. Team 4 developers, Overwatch developers, you need to buff Sombra. They do, but she's over-buffed, and then Lip gets to just carry with the Sombra until the end of the season, and that's how they win another championship. You know, I've got it. Hey, it happens every, except for last year, every other finals, every other playoffs, right? Some wacky patch comes through with something is ridiculously broken. In my
the old Jester Roadhog patch.
I got the binoculars coming out. I can see that the Sombra is going to be unbelievably imbalanced at the end of the year, and Lip's going to use that to carry again. That's how they win. So,
I think definitely a bit of a bolder claim than just saying the Dragons will be able to get the back-to-back, but I like the intricate detail that you're going into, and I think that
you got to be specific.
People are going to be clipping this, and they're going to be saving this for later on to see if you end up being correct, because this is going to get posted to Reddit and get cycled around Twitter if it ends up being exactly as you have now predicted.
Hey,
but guys,
Mr.
we are now ready to start.
Fair enough. Mr. X predicted the Shanghai Dragons would be champions one day, and he did that like years back, so I don't know how he did that. He went into an actual time machine. However, like you said, we're going to get into game. Philly Fusion, Shanghai Dragons, upper bracket, and it's not even the end of the road yet. The winner goes on to the Grand Finals, the loser drops down to face the Seoul Dynasty. Now, let's be straight here. Fusion 2 coming as the underdogs. They are the rookie team, but they are also the only team once more to have actually beaten the Dragons at any stage this year. Dragons, outside of that one loss, are undefeated. Yeah, they've gone to like multiple Map 5s, but they haven't dropped a single Map 5. Can they drop that today? We are also going to Lee Jagon Tower. This is Dragons map pick as the higher seed. We saw how unbelievably good they were on this map last night. We also saw the Fate Rhine. If you're Fusion, you should know the Rhine is available. And in fact, Fate's just going to do it straight away.
Yeah, they're going to do it off the rip here on Gardens, which is definitely not what we were seeing yesterday. That was on Command Center. The wall comes up here from Who Are You's Made, blocks off the reinforcements. That's now going to be... Control Center, you're correct. Thank you very much for pointing that out. And I can't believe I had that trip up. And oh my goodness, what is this swap up from the Fusion?
It's the Bellasaria Ball.
This
we
the counter
saw the Bellasaria Ball. The B Bellasaria Ball, not yesterday, the week before, when they played up against Hangzhou Spike. No, it didn't look good. However, I think if you are going to try and counter a Rhine composition, fire a ball, kind of good. I mean, this is actually what Shanghai would have played last year to counter a Rhine as well.
Okay, well, unfortunately, Bellasaria, despite the fact that he can't be frozen in place by Who Are You, is still getting this similar treatment as the 2021 ball that we were seeing. And Carpe now just going to be jumping over the side, goes to the reset, knows that he cannot escape. Still have this forward position as Vixen getting tagged low. Will manage to stay alive. Carpe now going to be respawning. Who are you? Pressured out, goes into the ice block. Here's the Rockets continue to fly in, and Zest, he's got this barrage ready to roll, and now Who Are You is going to be taken down. Big opening here for the side of the Philly Fusion, who are kind of making this work decently. We'll have to see a little bit more of it, though. See whether or not it's going to be able to come up with the eliminations. Up over the top, and oh boy, yet the window is there. Izayaki going to be taking a nap, but so is this as he goes sailing off the side of the map, so not going to be able to bring him back into the fight. Not going to be seeing the barrage yet. Now with Bellis Rio getting picked off by Who Are You has since respawned. It's going to have to be another reset. The Tackflies are even going to be used by Lip just to go ahead and try to find some final kills. Will be Carpe dead to Lee Jae gone at the very end of it, but the Dragons, they'll just go ahead and hold this.
You need Carpe on a Tracer here. I think the Soldier is generally speaking good, but unfortunately in this type of composition, you're just going to end up shooting shields. You need more diving, flanking power. Somebody has to help out Bellis Rio. Part of the reason why the ball's not going to be effective is you need somebody to be diving onto the damage with the ball to actually confirm those kills. It can't just be Zest from, I guess, the skies. Also, there's no Diva here to help out the Bellis Rio, so that's another thing that really does hurt, as well as then the Who Are You dink of the Carpe. It's going to be a reset. Best thing that Fusion can do here is set up Zest for an off angle, which he has, but they have to wait for Carpe.
Yeah, but every twist and turn, every time he really pokes out from above this rooftop, he's being met with an immense amount of damage, so he's nearly died. And as I say it, Lip will find the elimination. Fix-It pops the Valkyrie. Now it's going to be that barrier here from Lee Jae Gon. The Blizzard being used as well over here on the bridge. Carpe, again, just has to dive off the side, and I don't know if anyone's going to be able to touch. Okay, they do get Fix-It in there for just a moment, but Izayaki shuts them down, and that should just be it. The barrage is being used off-screen. Cool. It got Fate, but it feels like that is basically the second elimination. You'll have to check this for me. How many kills did the Fusion have here?
2.
Yep.
Total.
There you go.
Both from Zest.
And Zest got both of them.
Yeah, correct.
He killed Who Are You, he killed Fate, and that's it.
Almost 12,000 damage per 10 from Zest on the Fire, which is standard. Fire versus a ground-based Ryan comp. We saw that all the time. Jimmu was hitting upwards of 16 to 20k damage last season versus, 6 players on the other side, including 2 tanks. But when you're now into 5v5, you're trying to play, if you are going to play a ball, it is a dive composition through and through. To play a dive composition properly, you need someone that can dive. Either a Genji or a Tracer, cannot be Soldier Farah. Half these ultimates never got used from the Philly Fusion. When was Carpe ever going to use his ultimate? It's a really weird situation. And now we're going back towards the Rhine once more, because it is Control Center. The Shanghai Spitfire going to sail this one home, maybe, unless Bellis Rio on the Doom can counter it.
He's doing his damnedest. It's a good opening kill, though, as they find Izayaki. Like, he actually used the Immortality Field. Yeah, it wasn't up in the kill feed, so just too much pressure. Wasn't ready to respond. Does get caught off guard a bit there. He's now going to be swapping over to the Ana. Trying to build up, catch up to Aim God here with that nano charge. But given the initial pickoff, okay, some swaps going to be coming through that will concede the first cap of the point.
They are trying to counter the Doom now. That's what they're doing. That's why the Ana's being played in hard counter to Doom. Same thing with the Reaper as well. Dink from Who Are You onto Aim God. It's already a 5v4.
Yep, gets the headshot. The anti was out on the fix, and Lee Jae Gon is actually the one that hounds him down. Finds an elimination. The wall up. Carpe not able to escape. And just like that, I mean, they just changed the comp, and it immediately starts working for the side of the Dragons. Quick flip. They're going to be taking the lead here in just a moment.
And I think on a lot of situations, the Bellis Rio Doom, or just Doom in general, should have a great matchup in towards a Rhine composition. The problem is, on a map like this, now that Shanghai have control, now that they have good Doom counters up, like the Ana and also the Reaper, it's hard for Bellis Rio to get in. It's hard for him to put Fate into a corner and give him a bad game.
They're 5-on-8 after Izayaki, trying to keep everybody topped up. Who Are You pulls back around the corner. A little bit of damage here, but Widely is going to be okay. Fate takes a nap. Lip going to be eliminated. Who Are You? Again, just locking them in, looking for these eliminations. Bellis Rio keeping himself quite safe, though, with that added HP that he's getting from the punches, from the seismic slams. They find some opening kills as both supports and the tank are going to fall. It seems like the Fusion should be able to get this flip back into their favor. Who Are You? Buying a little bit of time, trying to get that next Blizzard up. They will end up dying 8% away from it as the flip comes through. 52% on board for Shanghai.
It's actually a really low damage output for the Shanghai Dragons. Particularly look at Fate. That's his. He hasn't used a Shatter. Your eyes do not lie. He's working on his first Shatter. He's only on 62%. He's barely managed to get any sort of damage in. Shatter can when you fight. Meanwhile, you look at the Fusion. They have 5 ultimates coming online. So this Doom composition is starting to find some value now. It's really putting Dragons on a weird spot by splitting up their team in most of these fights.
Okay, well, speaking of splitting up, I was going to say Bellis Rio in a bit of an awkward spot. As he Meteor Strikes back in, is going to be slept, pinned, antied out. Fate finds the elimination. Now the sound barrier going to be dropped in. The wall comes up, they cut off Aim God. That's going to be the Blizzard invested. Zest, however, with a blade, managing to find two. The Death Blossom used. They find another, and Zest dives into the Blizzard, ends up dying. Lippin, who are you, are still here. Carpe skirting around the center pillar, though, with the help of Fixa, will be able to clean up these final members of the side of the Dragons. It looked like maybe it was going to slip through their fingers for a moment, but no. The Fusion will maintain control and take the lead.
And this is also where, Lip's actually behind the Death Blossom. To be fair, he also changed over to the Reaper slightly late. We finally do have a Shadow online. The Nano's only just come online for Izayaki. Everything on the Dragon side has been slow in terms of ult charge, despite actually having won a fight very early on. And even now, Fusion... Okay,
yep. Looking for it. There's the pin.
So that's a traded kill. No Nano, though.
Yep, Death Blossom now into the back. Sleep immediately going to be greeting Lip. And yeah, they confirm the damage. They managed to find the elimination. Well, up there for just a moment. Zest dashing third finds Lee J gone. It looks like the Fusion might have successfully turned this on his head after a very shaky start. Just looking to get the stagger here onto Who Are You? Oh, it's just brutal. Not something that anime is typically used to experiencing. Ends up going down, and Lip cannot arrive fast enough. So good turnaround here from the side of the Fusion. They managed to make the comp work. Good little change-ups here from them. As Bellisria overall looking a lot more solid on the Doomfist compared to the Wrecking Ball.
Well, I just think it's a good sort of matchup, right? I mean, the Doomfist should have probably been the choice coming out onto Guardian, but I think the reasoning for the Fusion is they're thinking about it being an open map. There's a lot of positions we can boot players off. I know both heroes can boot, but someone like Bellisria has a lot more practice on the ball, having played that a bunch for T1 back during the Sombra Ball meta of Contenders Korea of last year, right? So there's some confidence on the ball. However, ball really is just not meta. Doesn't have the Diva to support, doesn't have the Zarya to support, doesn't have any support. Awkward as a solo tank. Doom is a far more sustainable pick that's going to give you hard value versus the Ryan. And the fact that Fate comes back up, I mean, Bellisria should just go straight back to spawn. They should spot the Ryan, go back on the Doom first. Night Market, great Doom map. In fact, good Fire map as well. Zest can go back and get the Fire, get the Doom. Yep. That will be the counter.
And, yep, they're hightailing it. They say, okay, yep, we see the comp now. Let's just go ahead, give it the first cap potentially, as there's 8 seconds remaining, and they will just go ahead and swap it up.
It worked last time,
the same things.
But and to be honest with you, last time they even lost the fight first before swapping. So Shanghai Dragons don't even have that first fight victory going for them this time. I was going to say before Fate ended up going for the Shadow, but Fusion had more percentage capped than Dragons, despite being a couple fights down early.
Okay, Bellisria diving into the back, doesn't get too much extra HP off of the Seismic Slam, but still manages to make his way out to safety. Lip going to be cut down. Mortality Field unable to save him there from Izayaki. Bellisria continues to play up front. Now they're looking for Lee J gone. He escapes, makes his way over to the Mega Pack, gets that healing, but there's still just so much pressure being exerted here from the side of the Fusion. They pick up the kill. Fate now, yep, going to be taken down. No chance of survival for him. Izayaki's on the opposite side of the map with nowhere to go. Will end up falling. Flip and Who Are You? They managed to find a couple of kills here at the very end, but the flip will be there all the same for the Fusion.
And now Shanghai are going to give up onto the Ryan comp, and straight away Bellisria is like, if you're not going to play Ryan, I'm not going to play Doom. It's going to end up being Winston versus Zarya. Who Are You? Even over towards the Tracer. So back to standard gameplay. I think for the Shanghai Dragons, they wanted to see if they could, in the words of some Overwatch League players, cheese out the win versus the Philadelphia Fusion. Not going to be the case today. Fusion are prepared. They've seen the Ryan before. They've dealt with the Ryan, and now they force Fate off the Ryan.
Well, they're prepared for it after the first round, we should say. They managed to tie it up.
Now they're trying to deal with it. The ball's average.
Well, there's the Nano out on the Carpe, and Lee J Gon cannot escape. Will end up falling. So Nano for a single kill. That's going to be a fight reset, and the lead now snatched up here for Fusion. Looks like we'll have a pause. Not sure who called for it. Looks like it's going to be on the side of the Dragons. And we'll see. Hopefully this will just be a quick little issue that we can get taken care of and go right back into the action. But there's a break, there's a lull, so it's not like we're right in the middle of a team fight, because you always hate to see those moments where you have that pause and people are right on top of each other. There's an ult getting ready to be used, and you're like, oh, I don't know how it's going to happen, how things are going to go after we pause this. But this is about the best time we can have it happen.
We're about to unpause soon, and just to give a bit of an update, Lip's about to get towards the visor, fixes nearly onto the sound barrier as well. But smart thing is from Fusion. I'm again, credit to the players and the coaching staff, Jin, the head coach there as well, for having done the prep to know, okay, we're going to Lee Jung, high likelihood of a Fate Ryan here. How are we going to counter? We know Bellisria can play the Doom. I know a lot of people are pretty down on Doom. I think Doom stocks have sunken quite a bit. The game is now unpaused, so we'll be heading back in. But Doom is still a reasonable counter versus the Ryan-based comps, because you're just mispositioning them so heavily. You know, the Rhine-based comp wants to play as a group, and if you can have a Doom punch them out of the way and just put them into weird spots, I mean, that's how you beat a Rhine comp.
Contesting the point for now, but Fusion, go ahead and shove them back. Tac visor going to be popped. Goes in, is looking for Fixa, but he hugs the corner, drops the beat, gets the shielding out onto everybody on the side of the Fusion. The anti now connecting onto 2. Fate and Lip falling low. Ichigon as well with a sliver of HP. Looks like he manages to pick up a health pack, but it's not going to help him enough. Hizuyaki, Lip, and Fate all end up dying. Who are you? He flips the point in the meantime, but they rejoin back over, and it's only 5% snatched up. Right back into control are the Fusion, holding onto the blade. The Nano nearly there to couple with it.
Yep. I saw Carpe getting quite vocal in the camera there as well. The captain of the squad, longest standing member, the most veteran player on this team, leading his troops. Squad of young rookies here, 80%, 40% ahead, in fact. A couple of support ultimates coming online for the Shanghai Dragons, but otherwise, it's just a pulse one. Can the Philadelphia Fusion rack this one up with just a single blade? It's got to be a nano blade as well.
Who are you? Into the back. He's going to get the stick. Aim God going to be taken out of the fight. First and foremost, a good opener here for the side of the Dragons. But as I say, that Carpe gets on top of Fate, finds the elimination. The beat's still going to be used by Lee Jae-gun because they know that they have to take the fight right now. They have to get this flip if they want to have a chance of closing out Lijiang Tower. Illusoria will be eliminated. For now, the rest of the Fusion are happy to concede this. They know that they have time on their side, so they go ahead and they pull away.
2 ultimates spent. So it ends up being somewhat expensive for the Shanghai Dragons. Fate will have a grab coming online soon as well. If you can solo grab Zest's blade coming up, that'll actually be insane. You don't want to be solo grabbing Bellatrix this time. Once Zest goes for the blade, you must have the grab to counter the blade. Otherwise, this could be lights out. The nano blade could be huge.
He is not going to have it, and obviously they have since swapped off. They don't have an immortality field as well here, and that's just going to be the cleanup coming through. Zest only managing to find 1, but now the follow-up fight is very much going the side of the Fusion. Grab is going to be used, Fate finding 1. He's trying to stay alive. He's got a sliver of HP, but he ends up killing himself off with a right click. The respawns are coming in, but no one's going to be able to get there in time. Lip only just got back into the game in the Fusion after a very rocky start, after a lot of flip-flopping around, trying the Wrecking Ball. It falls flat. They double down, they get a read on the Dragons comp, and they manage to close it out. A little mini reverse sweep on the side of Lijiang Tower as they take it 2-1.
And that's a great sign for Fusion as well, that, you know, they weren't just going to be outclassed by the Dragons today. Shanghai, you know, maybe we just got to put the reset button on that one, you know, turn it off and on, see if it works after that. But Zest managed to get the nano blade out before the grab is available. So you see that Fate had the right idea. He wanted to go for the grab onto Zest, but the grab just wasn't there. The nano blade already got its value. Shanghai already behind after attempting to play the Rhine on the night market. I think the Rhine obviously has a lot more value on Control Center. Once you start bringing it out on the other maps, far less valuable. They survive against the Fire and the Ball because Ball, not great in this meta. Fire, pretty questionable as well. Once you play the Doom, though, different story. Fusion have the superior matchup.
Well, a really great way for the Fusion to kick things off. The Dragons, this is probably going to be feeling a bit like familiar territory given the way that the last matchup went, but they're going to be looking for stability, and they have yet again their map choice to rely on. Looks like we're going to have Eichenwald coming up for our hybrid map, selected by the Dragons. We'll see how they fare there. We'll see if we have any swaps to the roster as well for that map, or if Who Are You is just going to be sticking through, which I think he will. Guys, we're going to take a quick break, though. When we come back, we'll have map number 2. Alrighty, we are back and about to go into game number 2. Despite having the map pick for control at the beginning, the Shanghai Dragons cannot close it out on their namesake of Lijiang Tower. They end up losing that one 2-1. Fusion looking good, adapting well to the Rhine strategies with the Mei and everything that we were seeing there from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. They get it in the second and the third rounds. Now we go forward yet again with the Dragons map pick. This time Eichenwald for Hybrid to see if they can tie this up 1-1.
I'm so surprised as Eichenwalder because we could have forced another Midtown incident here. Dragons, it was open to them. They could have gone to Midtown. We know what happens when Fusion go to Midtown. And Dragons are like, you know, it's fine. We'll lose 0-2 here. Maybe look for the reverse sweep. Shock have only done that like 5 million times now. Or Dragons have actually done that as well so far this season. Who knows? Eichenwalder, they've chosen this map though. They want to keep Fate in the roster. And to be honest with you, there is a small percentage chance we see more Rhine, although I'm not expecting that until we get to C. So once we get to the C defense, offense stage, maybe Fate changes over towards that again. But for now, it should just be standard Winston play. No Fury in for the side of Fusion either. It is still Battlesria, so Winston dive on both ends. Who are you still in? I think at this stage, they're saying, okay, Zest, you played a pretty good Genji. Let's see what Who Are You can do.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to just wait and see. As you can see there on the bottom of your screens, though, of course, MN3 is going to be stepping in for Carpe. This is nothing new. This should not be a cause for panic for the side of the Fusion fans. I was joking to Avril before. Like, he's going to get subbed out. MN3 is going to come in. Maybe they lose on Eichenwalder. And then all the Fusion fans are going to be like, oh, there's no Carpe. There's no win. We can't win without Carpe. He's the veteran on the team. And it's like, well, no. Like, they literally swept the Dragons in their first meeting this season without Carpe being in, so you guys can calm down. You don't need to panic. Everything should be okay. MN3 is a good player, and if they lose this map, it's because the Dragons are really, really good. But we'll see what happens. Just
and also
stay calm, everybody.
Zest is not in his chair, right? That's the other reason. Zest has left his chair, and Fusion are playing a man down. Okay, he's back. Woo! Crisis averted. Zest returns. But
I hope everybody liked that voice too.
I actually enjoyed it. I want you to do.
That's what the fans sound like to me.
Not this matchup, but at some stage, maybe a low stakes game out there. Maybe we cast I don't know, some all-star match, and then you just do that voice the entire way through. I'd really enjoy that. But yeah, Carpe always gets subbed out for map number 2 as a standard. He'll come back for probably map 5 at this stage, maybe even a map 4, but MN3 Sniper, potentially for this map. I think probably Ashe. I think I'm feeling the Ashe and the Cassidy for MN3 today on this map. We know Shy's played a lot of Ashe on this particular map as well. Soldier's obviously the standard. Lip will be on the Soldier, no doubt. But MN3 has not been as keen to bring out the Soldier as the other hit scans that we've seen across the league. Even though I think Soldier has been much more standard as a hero to play in his scan position. Now, there always is the opportunity to play Tracer Genji for this team as well, because a lot of people don't realize, but MN3 is also a Tracer play. He just hasn't played it at all this season, and because Battlesria is in for the dive, I mean, that option is always available. Not expecting it, though, because usually MN3 has played the flick scans instead. So just kind of waiting to get into game. So bear with us as trying to figure that one out. I think Drag is like, hang on a second, we picked Midtown, right? Is that what we picked? Oh, Eichenwald? Who did that? Can we undo that choice? Because
it's Coach Moon again.
That doesn't seem right.
The one made the call to try to just ham fist the Reinhardt on all 3 rounds of Lijiang Tower. Is also going to Eichenwald instead of going to Midtown. I mean, they did immediately pretty much make me be wrong, because we were talking about this yesterday after the Midtown incident that we won't discuss any further. That was going to be a map that teams were going to attack the Fusion on. That was going to be where they try to exploit and get a win out of them. But the Dragons say no. We're going to go to Eichenwald. We're going to go back to the map where we had the most clutch tag of a cart that we've ever seen. Yeah. With the .05 contest from Who Are You. So they say, you know what? Let's go back to that where we won by the slimmest of margins. Not the map where the other team looks widely absent and doesn't know what to play. But they are getting ready to start the game up, so we should be going in to map number 2 here in just a second, guys. We can get the action underway and can stop listening to myself and Avril just run away with our wild, wacky conversations where we occasionally make fun of you as well.
Speaking of Runaway, who are you, Genji? I'm expecting... no, actually, he wasn't on Runaway. That's the wrong play. I've completely fluffed it. You know what? I don't have a point.
Yeah, good
Speaking
job.
of Runaway, Lee J gone. Lee J gone is a Runaway player. Boom. Done. Finished. That's all I wanted to say. No more.
You nailed it.
No further comments. That's right. Huxel was that guy. It wasn't Who Are You. Damn
dare
it,
you.
Wolf's going to be disappointed in me. It's past my time. Lee Jae Gon was more my era. As fun fact, I casted Lee Jae Gon's debut professional match in Tier 2, so that happened. And from that day, I was like, you know what, this guy's got something going for him. I feel like he's got something going for him.
Did you?
Years later,
Didn't I do
back-to-back
that?
role swap, back-to-back role stars. No, I casted his entire Tier 2 career before he joined Runaway, and then he joined Runaway. That was when he was already good.
Oh, before
I looked at this guy when he was still like an average player. I'm like, this is like a way above average player for this level of team. Anyway, the Who Are You Genji is going to come out, as expected. Who Are You versus Zest. That's the battle we're looking for. MN3 will play a Soldier. No Ash. No Cassidy. Just Soldier. Doors open.
All right. And it's just going to be a straight-up mirror matchup between the two teams, at least for now. Maybe once Shanghai sees what Fusion's running, they'll go back and be like, let's bring out the Reinhardt. But no, they'll stick with the Winston. As
Actually,
now it's just going to be a little
could
poke
change Ryan right now. If they wanted to cheese really hard, they're like, all right, they're playing like Genji Winston. We can't just go Ryan. If they really want to cheese, Lip's even going to go towards the Reaper. What is happening? Does Fate go Zarya then? Are they going to dive with the Reaper? Okay.
It looks like they are.
Okay, Moon. Okay, Moon, I see you.
You know, Winston can jump in, and then 2 seconds later, the Reaper will arrive with a teleport. Just shadow step forward. But already, Who Are You playing the corner, throws the deflect, and that's a double ante going out onto the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Tick, however, already going to be picked up. It's going to be a trade on the Winston. So playing without the tanks here as Who Are You loses the mini pack, goes down to 2 HP, and they eventually do get the elimination. Fix up, picking up Lip as well. Now no DPS. Fate still disconnected from the fight, but they get 2 ticks, 2.5 ticks really at that. So overall, this isn't a bad first volley from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. It only cost them a minute.
Yeah, well, they cost them like 6 deaths, maybe 5 deaths, but it's fine. I think that's a worthwhile trade for 2 ticks, 77.2 as well. No one's that close to ultimate. I mean, Aim God is somewhat close. That will probably be a nano that goes onto Zest to help him build the blade up. Who Are You Izayaki somewhat further behind, and this time around you can see that Fusion are far more interested in keeping tabs on the front line. As I say that, they actually back out, so maybe less interested, but the nano should come on through regardless.
Izayaki just building it up. There's going to be the nano. That goes forward on the Zest. The blade a little ways away, but he's right in behind Lip. It had already been taken low. They get the elimination. Push up over the top. Nice. There's the cut down onto Lee Jae Gon, and yeah, 1 nano, 1-1 fight. Very nicely done here. Good economic balance, rather, not economic. Economic balance from the side of the Fusion.
Economic.
Yeah.
It's
like the Brits saying aluminium instead of aluminum, you know?
I say aluminium.
I know you do.
It's the British way. I'm not even British. From Izayaki has the nano boost coming online. Who Are You's nearly got that blade as well, so a lot of ultimates coming into play. This is going to be a bloody one. The economic exchange here is going to be quite extensive on both ends.
Point contest starting to come through. Primal going to be out from Bellisria, and Zest going to look to strike first with his blade. Ante instantly greets him, though. He's going to fall low. He's going to be eliminated. Lip finding the kill. The visor from MN3 seemingly getting no value whatsoever. Everyone just playing back away from it, hiding behind the guard. Now the blade comes from Who Are You. Goes diving in. The sleep threat connects. Izayaki now going to be out of the fight, but they have woken him back up. The beat, however, from Fixa was there, and Who Are You cannot chase deep enough to get the elimination onto the enemy Lucio. Dash not quite going to connect, ends up clipping the wall. Now Who Are You is dead, and the Fusion might be able to turn this on its head. Fate falling low, Lip going to be eliminated, and yeah, I think the Fusion actually have won this out. Now there's a minute remaining.
Yeah, there is, and Lee Jae Gon couldn't get the beat in time as well because you had Lip trying to survive. Who Are You already goes down. There's 4 players there, but unfortunately, if Lip dies, no DPSs, no time to use the sound barrier anymore. That would have been the game changer, the fight turner, but Lee Jae Gon couldn't quite get it in the last couple of percentage points there. Very close fight. A lot of ultimates used. Something like 8 or 9 ultimates used in that fight. And Aim God, by the way, is now on his 2nd nano. What a brilliant sleep from Aim God to shut down Who Are You earlier.
Right, beat versus the nano. Bellisria falling low. And Ante is absolutely massive. Manages to go out onto 3, and Zest is going to be taken down despite the nano boost there. Bellisria dead in midair, and the cleanup will finally come through, but it was only with 18 seconds remaining. They'll feel grateful that they get this cap at all, but the Shanghai Dragons need to make up for a massive amount of lost time there from point A. 2 minutes, 37 seconds now as they go into the streets phase.
I mean, the fight they were looking for was the previous one, right, when everyone had ultimates. Very long fight, but more ultimates were coming online for the Shanghai Dragons. They have a Nano available now. This one might actually go into Lip because he's close towards the Blossom. Could build that one up. Otherwise, it will just be another Who Are You Nano to push on through. Speaking of pushing, the payload has paused at this rate as we wait for Lip to flank over.
Ooh. Double dive into the back line. Lee Jae-gon just trying to escape, but Bellisria pursues far enough in. Gets the support.
Backline traded.
Aim got an MN3. They die at the same time. Fate, Lip, and Who Are You are doing work. They come up with 3 kills. They out-trade. Now the cart needs to be recontested. Lip going to be falling low, grabs the mini pack in the Wraith form. Zest now going to be eliminated. Bellisria has to make his exit. The cart can resume once more here from the side of the Dragons.
And as the dust settles, right, Dragons end up taking that fight win, so you get a successful dive from Bellisria and Zest, and an even more successful dive from Who Are You and Lip. Backlines traded, high ground still under control of the Fusion, but the payload is steadily moving. We're nearly onto the bridge, and that's when things get dangerous for the defense.
Nano used there onto Who Are You, but Lip taken out. Chasing into the back, is trying to get Fixa. Sliver of HP remaining here for the Lucio, but will manage to stay alive at least for a little bit longer. Aim God and Zest, however, do end up getting eliminated in the end. Fate with the Primal Rage juggles up MN3, gets that elimination. The cart in the meantime still pushing forward, just now getting ready to make its way to the bridge.
I mean, look at the ultimates. This is like Fusion versus Spark, Route 66 all over again. 4 ultimates. Got to use some of these fellas. We've got to get into the fight zone. We're nearly capped on B as well, finding it's the same point as R66. Jumped off his Bellisria. That's actually going to force a Primal because Bellisria might have been booped off the map.
Yep, he has to pop it. Now he's going to be slept into the back line. That drains some time away from the ultimate. Just 2 seconds remaining. A final leap into the back line, but he can't displace anybody. He can't knock anybody from the Dragons forward onto the bridge and then find some picks from there. So in the end, the Primal not really finding too much as it had to be used in desperation.
Really good for economy, though.
Through. Yep,
just
there's the dive
ultimate out.
Gets himself onto the high ground. Blade's going to be pulled from Who Are You. Anti goes down, but it doesn't clip the Genji. It only finds Lip. He's going to be able to Wraith walk away. Still holds onto the Death Blossom. Now Zest, shielded up from the sound barrier, goes into the back line, finds one, looks for a little bit more with the Dragon Blade. Seems the Fusion should be able to close out this fight. His Fate will be the last one to fall.
Time.
Sliver of HP here for him. He needs to die now.
Staggered. Yeah,
massive stagger.
Out, time's run out. Who Are You's coming back onto a Tracer as well. There's less than 10 seconds. It's going to be Lee Jae-gon going for the touch. Now, if he is booped away, it's going to come down to Fixa. If Fixa can get rid of Lee Jae-gon, they are not going to touch in time.
Oh, okay, Who Are You? He manages the dash in. Okay. He's got the recall out, but they still need Lee Jae-gon to be the follow-up. He's making his way forward. They cannot boop him away. Up here onto the high ground now. MN3 looking for a target. They get pushed away from the Helix rocket, but the Tac Visor still manages to find the elimination on Lee Jae-gon. That's 3% shy of the sound barrier for him. The rest of the team now need to try to buy some time for Lee Jae-gon to rejoin so they can get that shield. Fade so close. Gets the Primal Rage online. The Death Blossom comes in from Lip. He manages to find 2. Imdad and MN3 yet again going to be falling. It seems like once more. When it looks like the Fusion should be able to get the hold at a point, the Dragons say no. They put their foot down, they persevere, they get the clutch, they bump up the time bank once more, just a minute and a half to try to attack through the castle.
A trade there, but a stag onto MN3 that'll give some free push availability for the Dragons, less than 130 remaining. Probably not expecting the cap at this stage. Who Are You going back to the Genji, no doubt. And you have to look 2 fights back, because 2 fights back, there was no Lee Jae-gon or Izayaki support ultimates. This time there is. Nano gets used by Izayaki, and Lip ends up carrying that fight via the Death Blossom. And I think the sort of bait as well, you thought that Lee Jae-gon, I thought that Lee Jae-gon was going to go for the touch. Probably Fusion thought that as well. Ends up being Who Are You that gets it, and now the sound barrier in.
Yeah, they get the sleep onto Bellisria, so they want to beat aggressively. They push forward, but now Fate gets traded out. Now Izayaki is going to be gone, so not going to be getting too much distance off of this sound barrier from Lee Jae-gon. Instead, the cleanup will come through. They just get the Primal out of the side of the Fusion. Now the cart going to be held inside of the castle. Can't even make it to the final corner.
Fate going towards Azari here, and like I did say Ryan, but you would have to change a lot of heroes to make the Ryan work, right? Who Are You would probably have to go towards the Mei, Izayaki look towards the Bap. There's no time to change that many players. Just change only the Fate player. Have the bubbles carry through with Lip nearly on a Blossom. That's their best chance to get things through. But nearly 3 ultimates online for the Fusion, looking to hold this one.
Visor, the Nano to go with it. Sound barrier aggressively here, this time from the side of Fixa, and it comes up huge for them as 3 kills instantly come up in the kill feed for the side of the Fusion. Just looking for one last one. It's going to be Lee Jae-gon, who cannot force out for overtime. Gets gunned down. That's as far as the cart will make it. Shanghai Dragons thought maybe, just given how close they were to being held on A and B, would be able to clutch through for the point C contest, but Not quite. A minute and a half, just not enough to work with. The beat from Lijigon a bit too wanting, it would seem. Fusion now have a wind condition to try to move up 2-0.
It's a pretty good place for the Fusion to have completed the hold as well, because we don't have the payload too deep into C territory, kind of just around the first bend. That's a pretty capable position on this next offense, assuming A and B goes smoothly. But for the Shanghai Dragons, definitely overstaying their welcome on the attack, considering they nearly lost out on B entirely, had to clutch out on B. Typical Shanghai Dragons clutch, misdirecting who was going to end up touching the payload, so no chance of a Shang 9 there. And then the Lip Death Blossom to carry them through. So the bonus distance on C is just that. It's bonus, because they probably weren't expected to get to C based on what was remaining. The fact that they get some bonus is reasonable. I'm a little bit concerned about how long it took Dragons to get A, though. That was really slow from them. It was a failed fight as well, when both teams had a lot of ultimates, a lot of resets. On the Dragons, B was slightly smoother, but lack of time. Time was the biggest issue there.
Let's see what they have to work with here. Now shifting to the attack. Fusion. Overall, good defense. I mean, nearly that full hold coming to fruition. Can't quite make it happen, though. Let's see if they can breach the defenses of the Shanghai Dragons. Who are you and Fate? Immediately going to have to make their exit, as they had a pretty forward start. Good bit of damage. Go ahead and pull away. Dive into the back. Bellis Rhea is going to be zapping, keeping the supports occupied for now. Fate, yep, here on the high ground. Going to be knocked down, and he gets picked up. Fate going to fall. It's at the cost of Fixa, though. So the healing going to be taken out there from the side of the Fusion. Shanghai Dragons.
This is
they don't just lose one for free, but it's still rough.
This is good for Fusion, because Fixus on Lucio can just get back straight away. Fate's on a Winston. We'll have to try and get back slowly. I mean, despite the lead being that there's a small 5v4 window that Fusion can use. They got to move forward now. Bellis Rhea already taking position. Fate's back now.
Yep, he has re-arrived, leaping over the wall. Into the back, the call comes through, but the dive and the anti-nade is perfect from the side of AimGod, but he ends up falling. Who are you? Really, coming alive now. Dashes in, gets AimGod, gets MN3 in the follow-up. He himself going to fall low, but they play this out perfectly. Zest slicing and dicing is looking for some more targets, but he's antied with no HP to work with, so ends up dying in the end. So there's a couple eco pushes overall from the side of the Fusion thus far, not finding any purchase on the point.
Rescued by Who Are You and Lip getting a number of frags there. Lip's also on a soldier being taxied by Lee Jae-gon, so should be able to get back in time. Yeah, you're not going to see any dives coming through from the Fusion just yet. Slow ultimates, I'm going to say, from both sides. Lip will be the first one looking for an ultimate just now. Flies are online for this particular fight. Almost 2 minutes gone as well. Just 1:30. Yeah, he's done a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's best. I mean, look where MN3 is at right now, but he beats both of the Anas to the Nanos, which are just now coming online. Lip going to be the recipient of that. Pops the attack visor and is just charging forward looking for a target, and there's just no way for Fixa to survive. They try to trade it back there with the Helix rocket, but MN3 ends up getting taken down. Lee Jae-gon right there on top of Zest as well. They find the final eliminations. Still put a considerable amount of damage into Bellis Rhea as he's trying to survive, but he hasn't made it back into the spawn room, but it seems like they will give up the chase. They realize how far forward they are, but they find the additional staggers in the end. AimGod taking down Bellis Rhea, tries to come to his rescue, but then ends up just dying all the same. MN3 will narrowly survive, and this is a gorgeous hold here from the side of the Shanghai Dragons.
Yeah, not going to let Fusion get away that round with saving weapons right now, I'm saying. Shanghai Dragons.
Yep.
What a play. I mean, a perfect stagger. The fact that MN3 ended up being one of the first players down, respawns, and Bellis Rhea dies. That's got to be, that's painful for Fusion, for sure. That's the maximum time loss that you can possibly hope for.
Yep, there's the dive into the back. Primal here from Bellis Rhea, juggling Izayaki around. Doesn't manage to get the elimination. Now has overstepped. Lip will hunt him. Getting the shots across as he tries to leap out to safety. Cannot do so. 1-for-1 there in the extended fight. Fate still very much alive. Primal now expired. The visor does come through. He's looking for a target. So far, it's only been into the Winston. The anti now connecting. And Zest will be there for the alley-oop. They set up for the play. They get the elimination. Now they find themselves here on the point. Recontest still could come in, though. Who are you? He's half HP. He's pulling the blade. The heals try to come through, but they cannot keep him sustained. Fixa says nope. Gets that elimination. Attack visor here on the high ground from Lip will be good for 1, but MN3 cuts him down. And in the end, the cap will be there. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And the Fusion are going to be breathing a sigh of relief that Dragons actually decided to commit for the hold.
Except that we've seen that commit work so well for Dragons in so many previous fights. That is the building blocks for a typical Shanghai Dragons clutch. This time shut down successfully by the Fusion. Put the damage to Who Are You, no more Blade. Lip doesn't have any healing as well. He's just got his own heal pad to work through. Fate's not even there to buy space. And the double DPS ultimate's not going to find value at all. That's huge for the Fusion. Now moving into B. 2 less ultimates to deal with. Still have to deal with this Nano coming online. It's the only ultimate available.
I mean, he's diving back in. He doesn't care that he's got 41 HP, but he certainly should. Ends up going down. Fate just going to be claiming him and the Lucio. Cart for now inching forward, sleep onto the high ground, but now a dive into the back line. The assistance of Lee Jae-gon results in Aim-God and MN3 dying, so Fusion are going to have to go for a reset. And it's good from Shanghai Dragons. I mean, they say, you know what, we can just keep throwing ourselves at the Fusion. Even if we die, there's a lot of distance that they have to make up for and not a lot of time to do it.
It's a typical Dragons lose 1 play but trade 2, right? You've seen so many times they're down 4v5 and then they trade successfully and win the fight anyway. So 4v5 turns into 4v3, a little bit of payload push coming on through as we're waiting for Aim-God to get the Nano in. Speaking of which, Who Are You receives.
I mean, he's just into the back line. He kills 2. Look at him. He's in front of the spawn room. He comes up with 2 kills. They tried to go back to peel, but it was far too late. No one could get there. No one could kill him. Shanghai Dragons just continue to play right out in front of the spawns.
Nearly a team wipe there as well. Bellisri, the only surviving member, so don't quite get the tank, but Lip gets a little bit more ult charge. It's kind of what you're waiting for, right? You're building time. You're waiting to have Who Are You and Lip get these ultimates back online. They used both of them to try and hold on to A just a little bit earlier. The fact that Fusion have not really moved the payload or 1 fight since then is pretty concerning, as Lip is now looking for that visor. It's going to be unsupported, but it will still be a Lip visor.
Okay, Nano going to be used here for the Blade. Goes up onto the high ground. Izayaki instantly vanishing. Second swipe. Finds Lip. He looks for a little bit more, trying to soften up. Fate can't make it happen. Who Are You now going to get dropped? Fate will just go ahead, allow himself to die. Says, yeah, it's not worth me popping the Primal. We've nearly got 4 ultimates ready to go. So we'll hold on to it as there's just a minute remaining. The cart now finally being able to be pushed forward by the Fusion.
And Zest we trust here to open the door for the Fusion to start this payload movement again. Less than 1 minute. But there is now Bridge around the corner. And an important fight to come up now. This is the one for
Fate.
the side of the Shanghai Dragons with Fate even on 1 HP. He's got Primal, he's okay. He'll just
dead.
Not pop the Primal and die, I guess. He jumped! He jumped out of the bubble, didn't pop the Primal. I thought he was going to pop the Primal, but he just dies. That's a humongous blunder from the Shanghai Dragons.
It is, and that means that the cap is just going to come in here, it would seem. No, 0.83 meters left to go. Sound barrier going to be dropped. Who Are You? Oh, he was slept there for a moment. Can he make it out? Yeah, he's got the second hop left. Gets himself out to a safe position. Lip here on the high ground with attack visor, sends the Helix rockets, but they do not find an elimination. In the meantime, the card has pushed through. There's a minute and 40 seconds remaining now for the side of the Fusion, and they only have a Primal Rage for the Dragons to contest this. The Nano will be there for Izayaki as well, but that is not ideal whatsoever. The cart starting to make its way through into the castle. Bionade will slow them up, though.
Fate. Daddy Moon's not going to be happy about that later on. Now they're coming on through for Izayaki. They need this one to work for them. A minute 15. It's still workable for the Shanghai Dragons, but Fusion have been gifted a B cap and now gifted a kill as well.
Warrior's dead. Yep, Lip. He does get the Nano here. He's charging forward, trying to play the corner. Everybody just pulls out of the castle. They give up the space. They say it's okay. We still have a minute. Just wait out that Nano. They do so. Fate now up into the front lines. Pops the Primal. He's instantly slept. They shut him down. He finally uses it, and he's not going to find anything for it. Just into the back line. And then 3 gets Lip. The DPS duo nearly gone. Who Are You trying to stay alive here with the Tracer as they need to keep this card contested, but they are just zoned away. Who Are You dashes forward, ends up dying, and the Fusion will make it happen. Slim margins the whole way throughout. It looked like the Shanghai Dragons were going to be able to pull it off, but they cannot. The Fusion get the map win, and now they move up to 0.
And it's at this point in the winner bracket, 2 teams there at the top. The slimmest of margins, Achilles. Honestly, the slimmest of margins. If Fate pops the Primal or just doesn't die, touches payload, Lip and Who Are You of ultimates, support's coming online with ultimates, completely different fight. That was looking super winnable for the Shanghai Dragons for B. At minimum, let's say they even lose B. They force ultimates out of Fusion. Economically, it's not good for the Fusion moving into C. Also, a lot of time wasted. Fusion would have to take a while to cap B as well. Everything is completely different if Shanghai Dragons actually got a good fight on B and didn't just have Fate randomly die. I don't know, is that some 300 MS thing happening here? Who's to say?
I don't know.
But what I can say is it will cost the Shanghai Dragons a map.
Yeah, I don't have the answers for it. All I know is that it just didn't look very concise. It didn't look very cohesive from the side of the Dragons, and now we have to ask the question, is it a 3-0 sweep once more for the Fusion? Can they do it twice? Or can the Dragons rally back, be them clutch selves in these last potential 3 maps, and pull off a reverse sweep to make their way into the grand final of the Kickoff Clash? I do not know. I do not have the answers. All I know is everybody who was in the chat who said that no Carpe, no win, you have been proven wrong. MN3 helps them get across the line in the end, so I've expected everybody to say, I'm sorry, Achilles, because, yeah, you done goofed. 2-0 lead, though, for the side of the Fusion. Reverse sweep necessary for the Dragons. We'll see if they can make it happen. It's their map pick yet again. Has not been the biggest boon for them, though. We'll see what they select for Escort. We'll see if they can get the win when we come back from the break. And we are back. I pose the question, is the 3-0 sweep going to happen once more? The Fusion, they certainly want to make it a reality. The Shanghai Dragons, though, need to fight back, need to pull off a reverse sweep if they want to stay in the upper side of the bracket, if they want to go straight in to that grand final. Otherwise, they will once again have to square off against the Seoul Dynasty. Watch Point Gibraltar is what they have elected for our escort map. Avril, we'll see if they can start a reverse sweep there.
I'm battling two different sides here, Achilleos, in terms of where my train of thought is. On one hand, I'm like, it's the Shanghai Dragons, you know, this is where they level up. 0-2 down, who cares? I mean, they reverse sweep, they win map 5s, this is exactly what the Dragons want to do. Then the other part of me is like, but actually, the Fusion did 3-0 them last time. They're the only team to actually beat the Dragons, the only team to 3-0 the Dragons. Maybe Fusion was just 3-0 the Dragons again. It's part of the storyline here, it's part of the narrative that, well, obviously, Achilleos, Fusion have to get to the grand finals, because otherwise, how could they come second?
True. That's maybe you've actually mathed it out. You've solved the long time equation that has been puzzling us for quite some time. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I unfortunately don't have the answers, and I don't want the answers. I'm all aboard this wild ride.
You gotta get them. You gotta get the answers in this next map.
We are gonna get the answers. That's very true. And it would be such a scary thing, I think, for the Fusion fans and just for everybody kind of generally who's watching this, if the Shanghai Dragons can get a concise win on Gibraltar, because we know what they can do when they start getting some wind in their sails. If they can get this map picked up, then that fear will just be struck into the hearts of the players here on the side of the Fusion that a reverse sweep absolutely is possible. But they are looking to put their foot down. They're looking to completely and utterly avoid that. And so far, they have been looking incredibly good.
Here's what I will say in terms of Fusion here. That ability to hold on and counter clutch, when I say counter clutch, I mean stop the Shanghai Dragons from doing typical Shanghai things where they're losing but then they win anyway, which is to say that A-point final defense where Fate dies and Lip and Hua, you both pop ultimates against any other team. Dragons probably clutch there and they win that fight, keep holding on to A. Versus Fusion, they stop that straight in its tracks. That's the Fusion you need to see continue in this series to prevent the Dragons from doing typical Dragon BS level stuff coming through that we've seen every single other map, every single other series, but it still is the Shanghai Dragons and it's hard to count them out. The problem is, even being 2-0 here, it's not impossible with the Shanghai Dragons to actually reverse sweep. You don't beat the Dragons until you get the 3 on the board before they do. Without it sounding too obvious to me, versus any other team, I'd say Fusion have this 3-0, maybe even 3-1, doesn't matter, versus Dragons. It's just so hard to count them out. So hard.
Look at this setup. They're ready for this forward scout from Fate. They're anticipating that he's going to leap forward. They show a couple members on the bridge. Does he realize how stacked up this is? Okay, now everyone swings the corner. There'll be Immortality Field forced out. So Shanghai Dragons also had a very good read on that play from the side of the Fusion. Want to make sure that they don't get that instant punish. Lee Jae-gon going to be swapping over to the Brigida now to match with Fix-Up, as the Widowmakers will be let loose, and we'll see who can have the upper hand here, MN3 or Lip.
Yeah, well, Lip has been pretty decent on the sniper, but as DS said on his social media on Weibo, he believes that MN3 is the best Widowmaker in the APAC region, especially in the Widowmaker 1v1. So if that is to be the case, Lip will have his work cut out for him, but it is Lip. Grand Finals MVP Lip. Payload has been steadily pushing along for the Dragons. Decent amount of progression so far.
Yep, just got it set there at the bottom of the underpass. A little bit of pressure being applied to Lip, but they can't find a kill. Anti goes out on the 2 on the side of the Fusion. Aim God gonna be okay, though, as Lip just looks for that little pop shot. Won't lead to too much of anything, however, as the Fusion just backing away, giving up some distance as the card is going to be inched here to the top of the ramp. Zest will move forward to contest against Who Are You.
Takes some amount of slowdown now, Mika. Fate's going to continue that one as well. You do notice that Fusion have given up high ground control for the most part. Dragons have taken that with very little fanfare. Now Fusion are going to attempt to try and force it back towards their own side. Server control is still for Fusion, so they can work that together. They have a bit of a crossfire set up currently.
Good dinks again, just hitting Bellistria whenever he tries to go for these dives. Haven't been able to get a full punish yet, though. As, yep, a little bit of pressure. They spot the supports over here at the server room. Start making their way back over to the point properly. As Who Are You says, okay, I've got control. Yeah, he's like, I'm in the server room, I'm hacking him.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of HP. The problem is AimGod has this nano. They haven't used it. They have a nano advantage, but not quite doing too much with it right now. Izayaki there to match. 2 minutes remaining. Payload is up the hill. That's exactly where the Dragons want it to be. Zest has Blade. That's 50% above Who Are You. And now that they have Blade and Nano, it's going to be the Nano Blade.
Okay, the blade is going to be pulled. Goes into the back. Gets a little bit of damage there onto Lee Gone. The sleep connects, and everybody collapses to get the elimination. Zest shut down. That's 2 ults out of the fight. Now Fate goes forward. Primal Rage going to be rolling for him. Gets in on top of MN3. Pressures at the Widowmaker. Opens up a lot of space here for the cart to now advance. Minute 38 seconds remaining. Somebody's got to contest. Billos Rhea up over the top. Will jump back down. Does have the Primal to rely on, as you say. Utilize that to try to buy some more time here, and he's going to go ahead and pop it. Fate going to be eliminated. Zest finds that kill. They did lose MN3 in the back lines there. Izayaki surviving for a little bit longer, but Aim God finally gets a shot through. Connects onto the enemy. Ana opens it up, and Lee Jae-gon, the only support left alive here for the side of Shanghai Dragons, is not going to be able to do a damn thing. Lip will end up dying, and just a couple meters away, it looks a little bit scary there for the side of Fusion, but they will manage to hold it.
It's another, backline training scenario here. Okay, Lip is going to go Tracer. He's done with the Widow duel for now. Payload is far up enough that they want to just duel this one out. It does mean that Who Are You or Fate needs to deal with MN3 in the next fight, but regardless, Fate dying there means no more further push. Bellis Rhea can't die because he's got the Primal. Rally being popped by the Lee Jae-gon, and we're going to move forward with Bellis Rhea.
Bellis Rhea, he's slept up on the high ground, and no one can come to his rescue. He ends up falling down. Lip going to be forced to use that recall instantly here. Gets quite a bit of damage down on his Zest, but now he's down to 5 HP. Wraps around the side, gets the mini pack. It's not enough for him to survive. In the meantime, the blade is there from Who Are You. The card is advanced forward onto point A. Now it's 3 minutes in the time bank as they look for the cleanup kills. And they will just go ahead and dash through Who Are You, picking up both supports as the cart is going to start advancing into the hangar.
Unlucky for Lip there. Yeah, looks a little bit rusty on the Tracer today. Actually whiffs a blink, beefs that one for sure. But they'll still get the cap regardless, so getting rid of Bellis Rhea at the start of the fight. Brilliant stuff. And now, moving towards the shuttle phase. High ground control instantly taken by the Dragons. Now, usually when you have a Widowmaker here, you're in a great spot. Fate force a Primal. At least he uses the Primal this time.
That's very true. Keeps himself alive. The ante was on him as well, so really needed to pop that there. Goes down low, though, still continues taking a couple shots as he goes back up on top of the dropship. Bellis Rhea, in the meantime, just going to be keeping the cart halted as Lip is just poking and prodding from around the back there. Dash away, predicts that the shot is going to be flying towards him, but Lee Jae-gon can't keep the shield up. Ends up dying. MN3 with a nice little opener there. And it's just Lip and Izayaki trying to escape, but the latter will not be allowed to.
And there's no more ultimates now for the side of the Dragons, minus the Nano coming online. Pretty good position for the Fusion to be in. Less than 2 minutes remaining. 4 ults online, nearly 5. Full control. They have the Widowmaker as well. This is going to be tough for Dragons to break on through. And now, even if Lip was on a Widowmaker, hard to get sightlines when you have no positioning to walk in from. So, I guess I rate the Tracer as long as Lip can do things on the Tracer. It's up to MN3 now. I think he's in the perfect position to carry the team. Infrasight will be pretty large here as well, considering how slow Dragons are playing. Being able to see exactly how they want to move is going to be big.
Okay, Bionade not going to hit. Fate jumps away from that. They know that he's down in the lower ground, though. He started applying some pressure, and Lip as well, caught down here. Ends up dying. So let's go ahead, chase each other. Zap, exchange some leaps in the opposite direction, but Zest is there for the final kill. That's a good amount of time bought now. As the Shanghai Dragons again have to reset. Good pincher here from the side of the Fusion.
Well, it's one of the few times an Infrasight actually gets you a fight win off that ultimate alone. So you don't normally see that.
Yeah.
But the Infrasight gives you all the vision in terms of how Dragons are moving, and they're caught in the sort of respawn A defense area. I'm talking about in the underside of the point. And they can't escape right, and the Infrasight reels them. So, I mean, that one ultimate finding 2 players with a value is unheard of.
Well, but be happy that they popped it for sure. Now 35 seconds remaining. A couple ults to work with. The Blade, the Rally, not too far away here from the side of the Dragons, but 4 ults ready to roll at any given moment here from the side of the Fusion. Look to pull off this point B hold. Lip taking quite a bit of damage now, going to be forced to recall. Dive into the back, Zest gets the Nano, pulls the Blade, has the deflect up, still eats the ante, but gets his target of Izayaki. Now he looks for a little bit more. That's Lee Jae-gon dead as well. The wipe nearly completed. His Fate is the last one alive, and they can just stagger him out. It's only 8 seconds remaining. He's got to get the hell out of here, but he cannot do so. Cannot get the Primal, and that should just about be it. No one is going to be able to touch. So just a little bit in front of point B is as far as they need to go for the Fusion to take this 3-0.
And all that needed to happen there was a really, really good fight win coming through via Infrasight, then Dragons being reset, and a final fight where Zest gets the pull Blade before Who Are You. Why? Because Who Are You doesn't have the Blade. What you need to see out of Dragons is probably that Izayaki just pops a Nano onto Who Are You anyway, because if you lose that fight, you simply lose the entire attack. It's done. You don't have more time. Izyaki's the first one dead. Nano goes on Who Are You? He maybe looks for the blade. You can still rescue that fight. The fact that Dragons end up losing that final engagement with multiple ultimates still online, with the Primal nearly there, it is heartbreaking because they were moments away from actually being able to compete. But Fusion's timings for their ultimates coming online just a little bit earlier are actually having saved them, because we remember during that shuttle phase, after losing B initially, when they regain control, 5 ultimates, perfect economy. It's exactly the kind of position you want to be in for that type of defense. And that's after already bleeding down the A timer reasonably well as well, you know, quite a bit of significant time lostage. That's Fusion putting themselves in the driver's seat for an actual 3-0. It's looking extremely likely now.
And that it is. Fusion just a couple more steps to take. We saw how rough things got a bit there on Eichenwalde, but they still managed to persevere and push through. See if they can do that again here on Gibraltar. And I mean, the other thing to just bear in mind is this has been the map selection of the Dragons the whole way through. So if they lose here, it draws up a hell of a lot more questions about their performance here today. Dive onto the high ground there from Bellisria, puts the bubble down to make sure that he can't get antied out. Instead, he'll actually take a sleep dart and fall down to the cart. Either way, is safe for the time being. Lip cutting around the right-hand side, tries to get an angle to get a shot through, and Zest is unable to find it.
I definitely think Lip probably got off the Widowmaker a little bit too early on that attack as well, so you know, we'll see if he can stay on this one a little bit longer. Probably better to and easier to play the Widowmaker on the defense compared to the offense. MN3 constantly on 1 HP. It's damage from Lip. I mean, look at Lip's damage compared to MN3's just from the ult charge.
Yeah, I mean, he tapped him in the head. It just not enough of a charge up there on the right click to be able to get the full elimination. Otherwise, would have been able to take him out of the fight very quickly. Doesn't manage it, but still some nice shots.
A couple of 140s, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got all these references today, don't worry about it. Maybe a 145, depending on what you're using. Still, a minute gone. Oh, there it is. That's the shot we were looking for. Finally, Lip gets the kill into MN3. He's been waiting.
And 140 is what you're going to need to pour out of the ground here. The Fusion can get this victory, pour one out for the Shanghai Dragons. See what happens, though. Lip looking like he's a lot more comfortable with the defensive sightlines compared to the attack, as the infra sight is just 12% away now.
Fate's actually ahead in Primal as well, so a decent amount of damage being done here. Payload positioning is reasonable, just waiting to fight for this high ground. Ultimate's coming online to the Nanos. Aim God again, outpacing Izayaki with the first Nano.
Just chipping away, trying to build up for the blade. 68% now here from Zest.
They're just trading damage for Nano charge.
Who are you? But Fate says, okay, that's fine. And he now has the Primal, so he can continue to play a little bit more recklessly here. And Izayaki nearly has the Nano as well to go. Just taking up all that healing, you know, keeping the Winston topped up.
Oh.
Belstree into the back, though. Manages to find Lip. The Primal Rage now comes out. He'll be antsy, but I don't think he's going to be all too concerned about it. He's looking for Who Are You? Dips around the back of the server room. Plays elusively. Manages to climb up over the top and escape, but yeah. Now the Nano Blade absolutely can come through should they decide to pull it here. Dive onto the cart there from Fate. The Primal now going to be expiring. He gets forced off the high ground. Bellisria just holding the position here for his squad. Lip with the infrasight rolling, keeping tabs on the members of the Fusion. It seems like they're content to wait this out.
The only thing stopping the Nano Blade was the infrasight, because they could see where Zest was going to come from. Now the infrasight is gone. Zest and Aim God should be able to make their mark. Could they buy enough time for Who Are You? The infrasight gave them time for Who Are You to get something done, and he'll die.
Yeah, he will die, fortunately.
So will Fate.
You know, not with a blade in his hand. He ends up dying before he can even pull the blade. But yeah, Fate goes down now, and that really opens it up for the Fusion to get this cap. And they need to get it with as much time as they possibly can, because we know how much you can get slowed up in the hangar phase. So if they want to win this here, they need to get this cap.
Oh,
that the next few seconds for themselves. Yes, it is. Right as the recontest was getting ready to come through, pops this. Tries to hold them back. It will manage to make their way out onto the cart. The deflect already going to be used there from Who Are You as he waits to pull the blade. See if he gets an opportunity for it. Flank coming around that left-hand side, I do believe. And yeah, he's been spotted. Who Are You now diving in. He's looking for MN3. Lee Jagon in the meantime is going to be taken down. It will be a trade out. And yeah, the cap does come through in the meantime. MN3, he's being occupied by Who Are You, but he doesn't care. They get the bump up with the time bank. It's 2.5 more minutes added into the clock for the Fusion.
Dragons are sleeping. They are sleeping at the wheel. What is going on? How does Fixer get a solo kill to Lee Jagon? No rallies being used here. Didn't even have to use a Nano Blade. That's an infrasight for a cap. Bellisria gets a kill into Fate as well. It's just more staggered. It's just a free cap on A. Dragons, they've fallen apart.
This could be very much, I was going to say the beginning of the end, but it began a long time ago if this is how it's going to end up. Lip looking for a target, doesn't see anything, sees the drop down coming through. And yeah, then they still hold on to it. They didn't have to use anything at all. Fixa still holds his own rally. And Fusion have so many tools to work with. They're nearly going to be matched, though. Siaki not too far off from having the nano boost available, but maybe he's not going to be able to build it, because there it goes. Zest draws out the Dragon Blade. Now who are you going to try to match? The rally rolling, trying to keep him alive, but Zest cuts down Lijigon, interrupting that rally. Who are you, though? Managing to make up for a bit there, as he does come up with 3 kills off the back of the Dragon Blade. Look at these Winstons now. Primal Rage rolling. He's going to dive into the back, look for the elimination onto Lip. He's got a sliver of HP remaining, and Zest is there for the alley-oop to get the kill, and now they just have to get through Fate. The rest of the team trying to rotate back. Felosrio will make his exit, though. Goes a little bit too low for comfort. He'll get top back up. They say, it's okay. The card is close. We still have 2 minutes to work with.
Where are the ultimates? He's dead again. That was the only ultimate. That was a nano taken off the table. MN3 might have just gotten the kill that they require.
A huge pick off from him. They're still contesting the card for now. They're trying to keep it locked in place. The nano boost coming back into the fight. This is Siaki tries to join in, but MN3 goes absolutely monstrous. Gets 2 kills, and that is enough. They clear the card in the Fusion. They've done it yet again. They take down the Dragons. A sweep against the #1 seed in the region, and they will move forward into the grand final.
It's been a couple of weeks since we last saw the Fusion this good, but the MN3-0 is back, baby. 3-0 scoreline. It's always the Dragons versus the Fusions, or at least it's just been only 2 of these so far, but hey, it counts. Twice they've met. Twice it's been a 3-0. Twice the rookies of the Fusion will take down the veteran squad of the Dragons, the defending champions, and now in the losers bracket, and Fusion guaranteed spot in the grand finals of the Kickoff Clash.
And this is what everyone wanted to see from the Fusion. They come in here, they have these rookies, they have their tragedy in the offseason, and they start things off fantastically. I told you guys to just wait when they were having their dips. They started underperforming. They looked rough around the edges. You just had to give them a little bit of time to get practiced up and to come back into it strong. That's exactly what they did here with this tournament. They are not slacking off whatsoever. Absolutely incredible shots there from MN3. I mean, you're talking about the high praise that Dia was giving him, saying best Widowmaker in all of APAC. He really took that to heart and kind of proved it a bit here at the end of that map. I mean, 2 quick kills to just completely wipe the board here. Just take away those members on the side of the Shanghai Dragons and make sure that they did not have any hope whatsoever of pulling off that defense. Their map picks the whole way through didn't matter. The Fusion, they knew how to do it. The only time they looked rocky was on that first Rocky. That was not even a pun, the Rocky thing, Philadelphia. The only time that they looked rocky was on that first map of Lijiang Tower, and they managed to figure it out. They got the counter strat by the time that we went into Control Center, and they were able to finish it off. Beautifully done by the Fusion, and a very well-earned spot in the grand finals. Let's just go ahead and take a look at our player of the match. It's going to be Fixa. Because why not? Guys, just... Woo! Incredible.
Which Rocky movie, by the way, was the one that he actually won the fight instead of losing at the end?
I don't even remember. It's been a while.
It's,
I think it was 2.
Let's just say it's 2. Well, this is Rocky 2. You know, we had a very rocky sort of stage for the Philadelphia Fusion overall, peaks and troughs. Now we found out 2 peaks. Apparently, they just happened during the Dragons games. Fixa, player of the match, and I've had my eyes on Fixa for a while. I actually even felt like Fixa deserved player of the match in our previous series, but Zest came out, completely dominated. Zest had a great day today as well, but it's time to give the main sports a bit of love because this guy's been hella underrated. I mean, people talk about, they look at the Philadelphia Fusion backline and think, oh no, our supports, they're not as good as Lijigon and Iziaki. Well, today I think, to be honest with you, I felt like they played better than Lijigon and Iziaki, and that's a crazy thing to say. So Fixa will finally get the player of the match. As a reminder, he also had that, sorry, that was actually Vindane yesterday, but it's a lot of these rookie main sports having great moments, so you know what, they can all share in the glory. Fixa will be the one taking home the award.
Just utterly impeccable play from them. The Dragons not looking like themselves, and now they find themselves in a rematch down in the lower bracket finals versus the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, they certainly look out of sorts. Like you said.
Again.
Yeah, like you said, this is one of those teams where you can't say that you're winning until you have that 3 come up on the screen for yourselves. Seoul Dynasty, they're the 3rd seed. They already have the 3 on their screen, so maybe they can get it this time. Maybe that's just a preview of the score.
Hey, they
had
that yesterday too, by the way. They had the 3rd seed yesterday too, by the way, but
I know. I just jest. I see it in front of my face. I decide to call it as a joke. But
How
yeah,
was it?
the
How
other
was
one
it
is
yesterday? We had 3-1, 3-2, and now it's back-to-back 3-0s. I was legitimately thinking we'd go throughout an entire bracket without a single 3-0 because it was looking like it'd be that close. But now, it's the yellow/orange team day. The yellow-orange teams did good. The pink team, the red team, no go, not good. Shanghai, big disappoint. Massive mistakes coming through. The Rhine composition on Control on the first map at Lijiang, makes sense on Control Center. They win on Gardens because I guess the ball wasn't very good, but ultimately I don't think it's wise to play the Rhine on all three sub-maps. Talk about the Fate throw on Eichenwalde as well as the double DPS throw on Eichenwalde A defense as well. And then generally speaking on Gibraltar, just, got outpaced, low economy, got held on B, brilliant plays by the Fusion, and an extremely poor showing by Dragons compared to what we saw yesterday. Weird day, but congrats to Fusion. Deserved win. Grand finalists. It's been a while, Fusion, but welcome back to the Grand Finals.
A very, very long time for them and a long time coming, but you love to see the improvement here across the season from the rookies who are able to start off hot and then get right back into that form when it really matters. So they find themselves in the grand final. We still don't know who they're going to be playing against, though, of course, because that's got to be decided tomorrow. Dynasty, yet again, going up against the Shanghai Dragons. It has been the bane of their existence, this team, for such a long time. But with the Dragons looking how they look today, there's a hell of a lot of improvement, a hell of a lot of stability that needs to be found in less than 24 hours for this squad, because the Dynasty are going to be absolutely starving to finally beat them to make their way as well into another grand finals. So that is going to be a clash that you do not want to miss. I love the way that things are heating up here on the side of APAC. The script is thrown out. We never know what to anticipate. Dragons could very well still make it. They very well could go into that grand final and potentially improve themselves and get the better of Fusion for the first time this season. I don't know. I just know that I can't wait to watch it. And I hope that you guys will be watching it too. Because we're going to be back same time, same place tomorrow for more of that APAC action. And I'm going to change it up a little bit here, Avril. How about you close the show for once? Surprise.
And that's going to be it, fellas. Grand Finals day tomorrow. Lower bracket final there as well. Killian and I's the AA casters. We'll be back once again. Fusion finally back in the finals. It's been a long time coming, and we can't wait to see what happens. So we'll see y'all tomorrow for more APAC action. The Kickoff Clash concludes all tomorrow. See you later.
Beautifully done.
We love you, casters. We'll see you tomorrow. Killian and Avril.
Get in there.
Payload secured. Let's move.
Double.